I used to say, I'm born and raised in the Valley of the Sun. I'm Melissa Anaya, and I used to do this hand gesture. I'm bringing you EatDrinkAZ. I never talk about it, so I love that you asked this question. The video that made me go viral, 15 million.
Whoa.
Close my eyes and I'm like, okay, let's go perform. I knew everyone was going to be watching online. And I had, a skill that not a lot of people had. And I said, I'm going to build a trusted brand first so that they know what I'm doing. And then the restaurant clients will come. They'll believe me.
For 2 decades, I've helped brands earn credibility through PR. Now I'm turning the mic on the storytellers themselves. I'm Melissa DiGianfilippo, founder and CEO of Publicity, and this is Off Deadline, the real stories of reporters, hosts, and media insiders beyond the byline. Welcome to Off Deadline. I'm Melissa DiGianfilippo, and my guest today is Melissa Anaya. Welcome, Melissa.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Melissa Anaya has spent the past decade building EatDrinkAZ into one of Arizona's most trusted voices in dining and hospitality. With nearly 500,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok alone, her brand showcases the Valley's best restaurants, bars, and hotspots through authentic reviews and engaging storytelling. In addition to leading EatDrinkAZ, Melissa is the founder of Eat Drink Creative Agency, helping hospitality businesses grow with results-driven strategies that connect them to their audiences. I am so excited to chat with you today. My team raves about the experience working with you, and so do my clients.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Well, clearly, it shows because it's not easy to get 500,000 followers.
No, it is not. That's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food. And we'll get into it. I want to know how you did it, how you grew it. So let's start there if you don't mind.
Yes.
I want to know your backstory. I assume you didn't wake up one day and decide, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say that you decided to be an influencer, right? How did you start on socials?
So I got divorced back in 2012.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. I had only worked in the hospitality industry. So I opened up this brewery called The Perch in downtown Chandler.
Uh-huh.
When I've seen it has all the
I've
birds.
been there. It is so cool. And I don't love birds, but that's a cool spot.
Very cool. Patio vibes, the whole 9 yards. And like any restaurant, they're kind of, hey, you got a skill. Let's see what you can do. And they needed help with social media. Then it was only Facebook and Google. Instagram had not been acquired yet.
Yep.
So then
YouTube wasn't a serious thing yet.
No, I didn't even understand YouTube then at all. So I got on and I helped them and I found a love for social media. And I ended up finding a bigger love for Facebook. And I kind of found out that Facebook was more than just posting. There was this whole advertising side that I never really knew. And then that kind of, jump-started my career I became immersed with Facebook.
Yeah. And then how did you turn your ability to storytell for restaurants into, well, maybe your restaurant first, obviously, into a thriving business where you're, telling the stories of all of the hottest spots in the Valley?
Yeah, I felt like I really had a skill. And so there was this restaurant called Los Taquitos.
Mm-hmm.
It was in my neighborhood and I went in every day, visited them. They hired us for social media back in the day. And then Instagram was around. I just took photos with the phone. And I was like, ooh, I'm a professional. I can go do this at all sorts of restaurants. And I started kind of knocking on doors and showing up. And restaurants were like, who are you? Oh, we don't know who you are. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting nowhere. And influencing was just kind of starting. It was a lot of blog writing and just photos then. But I knew video, due to my background in Meta, was about to be on the rise. So I started with video right away. I was the only person on video and on the mic doing restaurant reviews. I decided to do something a little bit different.
With your face.
Yes.
So, and that was different then. Now it's everywhere, right? But so you were really the first in Arizona doing that.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then from there, I told myself, I got a couple more clients, restaurant clients, where we, manage their social media. And I said, I'm going to build a trusted brand first so that they know what I'm doing. And then the restaurant clients will come. They'll believe me. And so that's really what spiraled EatDrinkAZ. And I never thought it'd become the monster that it is today. And now it's its own business.
Yeah.
So
it's a full media company.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're sharing content that people are following and making decisions on where to go. So you're a news source.
Yes.
You're probably making a lot of revenue from it, which is so exciting because there's opportunities galore there.
Huge.
And it is a trusted brand.
Yes.
Like it really is.
Yeah.
So.
And, I have a love for Arizona. I'm born and raised here. So, I've watched this entire valley go up from, when I used to go out to eat. And as you know, it was mainly chains.
Oh, for sure. It was so rare to find, a homegrown restaurant concept.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, you always had like a little small mom and pop, like taco Mexican spots, but the food scene that you see today did not exist by any means.
Yeah. Well, I think you're probably part of what attracts brands to come to Arizona. Now we have some of the most amazing restaurateurs here in the Valley. I mean, you can name all these crazy names that we never thought would show up here, 10 years ago. So huge props to you. But now we're going to go deep. Okay?
Let's do it.
Okay. What is the story behind your most iconic or viral moment that transformed how audiences saw you?
Okay, so I'd say that there's two. One just due to virality. The other one really was, so I'm a person who, if something's working, don't try to recreate it. I noticed that then everything was, a lot of TV. Guy Fieri was he still is huge. Guy Fieri was huge, and he was kind of like my icon. So, and I noticed he had the same intro, while the diner's driving in Guys. And so I decided to do this intro to start to brand myself. And it said, and he used to say, I'm born and raised in the Valley of the Sun. I'm Melissa Anaya. And I used to do this hand gesture. I'm bringing you EatDrinkAZ. So I copied Guy Fieri.
That's honestly genius.
And I branded it in all of my videos, and it started branding who I was.
Wow. So people right away saw the repetition of that, and then they understood so quickly what you did as well, which you understood the power of, like, that's an elevator pitch. You're ultra clear on what you're delivering.
Yeah, and I thought of branding. I thought of letting people know I'm born and raised. So your food, stories that I'm going to tell you are going to be from someone that is from here, not moved here from New York or something. My grassroots are here.
Yeah.
So that was really big to me.
That's awesome. And you said there was two. What's the other one?
The video that made me go viral. It's 15 million.
Whoa.
All I did was eat some chicken online. My videographer recorded it, and I chopped up chicken, and this video blasted my TikTok. Probably grew it to what it is today. Out of the water. I think mainly people were like, if I hear this girl slurp one more time on her chicken, like, which created like all this conversation. People were heated.
Of course, but you know what? Those are the videos that take off. And hey, if that grew your following, more power to you.
Exactly. So that, and then a couple of mega viral videos. But I'd say those two things really spiraled. I would say what EatDrinkAZ is today.
That's a slurping chicken. I actually have to find the video now and watch it. I'll probably pop it in here. So.
I love it.
Can you share a moment where you witnessed your work make a tangible, positive difference in someone's life?
Ooh, yeah. I would say one of the biggest things that I used to do, I always thought it was a gift, still do, to be able to go to the restaurants that I'm able to go to. And I decided, why not give this opportunity to someone else, which I had never seen anyone do.
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of courage too to be like, oh my God, I'm going to go out to eat. I don't think of it as that, but I wanted to give someone else the opportunity to kind of wine and dine them, take them out. So I did this in Tucson back when the COVID era.
Wow.
And, there wasn't a lot going on. And I took this girl, and she literally came in tears and was so excited to dine, and took her to 2 restaurants actually in Tucson. And she was just so grateful. And I thought that was really cool. And I ended up doing that for a couple of times just because to me, I was like, they're never going to be able to really experience that.
And who was that person, and how did you find her?
I did a contest online. I don't remember how I did it.
Yeah.
But I remember just getting on camera and doing what I did and talking on camera, giving someone the opportunity
to come along with you on this like journey where you were going to dine and tell the story, right?
Yeah, and I also did it in Tucson. Back in the day, majority of foodies never really featured Tucson. They really left it off the map. And so I decided to go to a place that I thought has amazing food and really start dining there. And so it really blew up in Tucson, which was great.
Wow, that's really cool. And so you've kind of continued that occasionally. That idea, I love that. And I also assume you've probably changed the course for a restaurant owner or two just by a piece of content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge. I remember, again, a lot of it, I mean, even now, but it's, oh my gosh, it's a French restaurant. It's actually you can bring your own wine there.
Oh, yes.
I went in there randomly and did a video. It went mega viral. They were probably the first people that had sent me a message during such a slow time. And they were like, thank you so much. We have a line out the door. We can't thank you enough. And it's a fantastic, I think it's a hidden gem.
It's a hidden gem because you almost don't even know there's a restaurant.
Yes.
What is
Merci.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Merci. Okay. Yes, it is so cool.
It is fantastic. Yeah. So many of those stories where, you know, I go in and I do a video, they go mega viral for them. That drives customers. That's huge for these restaurants.
Yeah. And I also imagine that during the COVID era, when a lot of these restaurants were probably pretty close to shutting their doors, anything you were doing with the visibility you had grown at that point was probably moving the needle so dramatically. So, gosh, like what a big gift to give to like your local food scene during that time. So,
and I really support local. You know, I mean, it's what drives our cities.
Of
our town.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you for sharing that. Can you also share a time when you reached a professional crossroads and how did you navigate that?
Yeah, I would say my biggest crossroad was during 2019. So right when the world shut down. For a lot of people, it didn't work out so well. For me, my business went up. So that was the time that I used EatDrinkAZ. I leveraged it. I knew everyone was at home. They had nothing to do. I still went out. I traveled to Flad. I traveled to Tucson. I went all over the valley doing, you know, featuring restaurants. And then I also started talking about what I do on the agency side and how I can help them. And that was really big for us because I knew everyone's going to be watching online.
Yeah.
And I had, you know, a skill that not a lot of people had, and it was running ads, you know. So for these restaurants, they're able to just open the doors and have people come in. Well, I was able to go and film video content for them for their takeout orders and geo-fence the area by running meta advertisements around their restaurants. And we had one blow up so big, it was for AZ88.
Great spot, by the way. Great drinks, great French fries, really fun dancing.
Oh, amazing. So their martinis are over the top, and that's what they're known for since 1988. It's how long they've been around. And they decided to jar them and put them in jartinis. So they're called jartinis. And I ran that ad campaign and other restaurants saw. So once Arizona opened back up, which we were one of the first states, and all the funding came in, the agency went from only having 5 clients to 10 overnight.
Wow.
So that was huge by me using my voice online to really help restaurants and showcase what I could do as on top of growing EatDrinkAZ at the same time.
And so how was that a pivotal moment for you? Was that where you realized now I have 2 separate businesses?
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, how do you run 2 separate businesses?
I didn't know what to do, and I hired a bunch of contractors. Then it was contractors. I was like, let's find people with skill sets and bring them on board to help, you know. And there were a lot of amazing people that, you know, helped to where we are today. And that's all I really knew how to do is I didn't understand W-2s. And I was like, you're a photographer, you shoot video. I didn't even have systems. Let's just figure it out along the way.
It's usually how the best entrepreneurs start, to be honest. Figure it out along the way. Wait, I want to hit on something advertising real quick. I have heard you talk about this, and I just want you to share it here with this audience because organic content's great, but like it's not enough anymore. So can you just touch on the impact and importance of accelerating organic content with paid boosts or ads?
Yes, I would love this. So this is the background of our entire business. Yes, you need organic content, but I preach this phrase over and over and over. Meta is a pay-to-play platform. It always has been. It's a for-profit business. It was not made for you originally to post your dogs and your mom and your grandma. They're only gathering that information in order for us advertisers to be able to know that you know,
You have a dog.
you have a dog.
have a grandma.
So we can now send you dog food ads. That's really what it's for. So you're really supposed to take your, you know, your greatest posts, organic posts, that data is there to let you know what your audience wants to see. And that's one of the biggest things that I love. People will make content and they're like, well, it doesn't work. Let me do it again. Why are you repeating something that doesn't work? The algo already told you they hated it.
Yeah.
So you take your fantastic content and that's what you utilize to run ads on. And that's really how you generate traffic for your brand.
See, you heard it here first. I'd love if you could share an instance where you witnessed something on a job of some kind that was difficult to process emotionally.
Ooh. Yeah, I would say, you know, without naming names of concepts, I think that you see some of these concepts from the outside and, you know, you see their brand online and what's going on and, you know, great food. And there's been a couple instances where I've walked into a restaurant and it's not that way. It's not that way from the service. It's not that way from how they're treating their employees, down to actually where, I mean, employees are being verbally abused, which is, you know, you've seen kind of the crazy movies with the crazy chef, like that exists. Like that really does happen. And I never understand that. And for me, it was a video that I was getting ready to create. I was really excited. I was maybe, sorry, I take that back. I was on time. My videographer was late by only a couple of minutes. And I guess that's that chef's big thing. And it wasn't anything crazy. It was just, and we were doing a free video.
Oh, well then.
For 4K. I'm not saying that makes any excuse for being late, but we're talking like 5 minutes here. And the chef lost his mind, like was pretty pissed and didn't want to do it. We had to talk him into doing it. And when I sat there and I did the video, I was flush and red, and I had to get through that video just smiling. And I think that I was overall shocked.
Yeah. And I imagine, like, first of all, that feeling of I'm doing this to help you. Yeah. I'm not making money on this. There's a reason you probably love the restaurant or you thought you did. Yeah. And that also brings me to another point. You know, you get pitched content, like you have your own company, but then also you get pitched content by like people like me, PR people. Hey, come cover this restaurant. And a lot of them are paid gigs because influencing is a job. Yeah. But whether they are paid or not, what if you know that a restaurant, what if you see a bad experience? Mm-hmm. How do you feel comfortable creating content and sharing it with the world if it was a bad experience?
Okay, I love this question. I get asked this so much. So I'm a storyteller. I'm not a food critic. I have ratings that I go by before we even go out there. And Google and Yelp will tell you everything you need to know about a restaurant, usually.
I know this, yeah.
So we have a rating for Google and we have a rating for Yelp before me or I send one of my people out there to go do it. I believe that there is a customer for every restaurant, no matter if it's high quality, expensive, mom and pop, low budget, that sort of thing. Now, if a restaurant we ended up finding a restaurant that we featured, literally the next week got on Dirty Dining, which things happen. I get that.
And it can be minor infractions sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, I read these things and I'm like, okay. But, you know, we'll give them opportunity. We have to say, hey, we have to cancel this video. We'll give you a year to fix this. If you get caught on Dirty Dining again, we can't come back. Or by accident, one of my assistants was heading to a place and she's like, I'm so sorry. I just got here. The rating is terrible. I cannot feature it. We have to let them know. But I'm very apologetic. Once you do increase that, more than happy to come back out. So I will not do the video. But am I looking for Michelin star ratings everywhere I go? Exquisite? No, that doesn't exist. Yeah. I've never been to one restaurant in Arizona, and every single dish is mind-blowing.
Of course.
You have winning items, I say, and items that kind of carry the restaurant along is what I believe.
Yeah. Smart. I think that's a really great strategy. And honesty is the best policy. Like, you know, for you to share with that restaurant owner or manager, like, I can't do this and here's why, but here's an opportunity for you. Hopefully most are pretty receptive.
Yeah. I would say the biggest thing that I run into is when I come back to the restaurant without them knowing, sometimes it's a different experience. And I will, because they wine and they dine you. Presentation looks perfect. Service is outstanding. And so I'll come back and I'm like, hey, that kind of didn't happen when I came back as a
regular person.
a regular guest.
Do you tell them?
Oh yeah, 100%. I always do. I let them know right away.
Yeah, that's great. That's important. As a business owner, even if it's not my client, I don't complain. Well, unless it's like ridiculous, but I will also share feedback, not like on Yelp because I just don't want to deal with that. But I will ask the manager or the owner if I know who they are or who their PR person is, because it's a pretty small world here, and just be like, hey, it was a pretty weird experience, because I just want them to fix it, like for someone else. Like I would hate to not know that as a business owner.
Yeah, and they need to. Sometimes people are afraid to.
Yeah,
and you're actually helping them.
I totally agree. What professional accomplishment are you most proud of but doesn't appear in your official bio or resume?
There's a few. I had always wanted to win Phoenix Magazine's Best Blogger. So when I won that, that was really big for me.
Yeah.
The next one I'm going for in Phoenix Magazine is Best Agency for hospitality.
Ooh, there you go.
We're niche hospitality. But that was really, I'm a person that doesn't really I kind of just go. I think like a lot of entrepreneurs, I don't really, sit and process the daily. Not saying that I'm not thankful and I'm not grateful. I just don't process.
You're not celebrating the small moments like all.
I do not celebrate.
Yeah.
I look at bigger achievements for me and goals. The other big thing is I had dreamt about what I wanted my office to be when it was just for years. And it's identical to that. I envisioned that. I was like, I want a long table with all of the employees sitting in one large table. I want the equipment hanging. And that's all I knew was like the first round of what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So that was accomplished. And so what happens is I kind of set my mind to something, and then everything else is just an obstacle that I have to get there. The next goal would be, it's a square building and it's 2-story by a freeway somewhere with our name over it. So that is next goal.
Nice. I love that you're like legitimately visualizing your goals. There is something there. It's like similar to manifesting, right? I mean, you're like thinking about it as if it happened, right?
Yeah. So I would say those two things.
How cool. And you also have kids. So I imagine, while not a professional accomplishment, the fact that you're running a business, 2 businesses, and you've raised 2 sons, right? One's an adult. That's gotta feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it was hard in the beginning, and now we get to go places, and it's paid off. We just got back from Japan and Europe the year before, so that I want to show them the world, and they're foodies.
I would imagine. I imagine that'd be hard with a mom like you to not be. That's awesome. What has happened in your life that made you better at what you're doing now?
Okay, so I always bring it back to this. I never talk about it, so I love that you asked this question. I was a dancer from all the way up until my senior year. And as soon as I graduated, I got married young and had kids young, but every friend, I was on the top production team. They were like, why aren't you teaching dance? Like, why aren't you going to ASU? Why aren't you opening a studio? Like, it was to that level, and it brought me confidence. I was always had to be in the front row. I was had to work. And so when I got on camera with EatDrinkAZ, I told myself, I was so nervous. I told myself that was my dance stage, is what I did. So I felt like that really helped me pivot into being able to use my voice, because I was like, this is also a performance.
It totally is. And it's hard to put yourself out there on camera. Anyone who has tried knows, like, I can't watch myself back, but like, I know it's important and I love creating content, but everyone's critical of themselves. So that probably helped you, that training, so much.
It was huge, because I remembered what it'd feel like before I'd go out on that same jittery, and I still do it sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll put myself in like the back curtain, like getting ready to, like, you can kind of see me sometimes.
Freaking it out.
Yeah, like getting ready to like go out there, and I close my eyes and I'm like, okay, let's go perform.
Awesome. I love that. And that's a perfect answer, because what a great parlay. And like, do you ever miss dancing?
I do, actually. So
Are you taking lessons, Van?
I am trying to work on my fitness for my 50th.
Good for you.
And it sounds silly, but I might do a performance at my 50th.
Why is that silly? Hell, girl, like, can I come?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're into rapid fire.
Okay.
So your job is just to tell me the first thing that comes to mind, and I would love a small story, of course.
Okay.
There's one. What's the wildest rumor you've ever heard about yourself?
Oh, that I bought my followers.
Oh, come on. You can check that in 5 seconds, by the way, people. Like, there's authentication tools.
Seriously, someone was going around telling someone that I bought my followers, and I was like, this is insane. I literally been preaching advertising.
Yeah. Hello. Okay. Well, that's an easy one to clear up. What's your go-to comfort food, drink, or ritual when the pressure's on?
Pho. Pho. Oh my God, I should know how to say it. Pho. Pho. Pho.
Yeah.
I live off of pho. I probably eat pho once a week when I have a migraine, when I'm stressed, when I need
wow.
comfort, if I'm hungover. Pho is
That's what it is. And where is the favorite pho in the Valley?
So I like well, there's one by my house. It's just kind of local because it's close. But the main one that I go to is Rice Paper in Phoenix.
Awesome.
That's one of my favorites. And then there's one in Glendale, but it's too far and it's fantastic. I believe it's called Devang.
Ooh.
That one is number one. It's just too far to go to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
But for people in Glendale, hit it.
Yeah. I would say that when it comes to a drink, comfort drink. Oh gosh. So I got away from the sweet cocktails, but if I were to have my comfort drink, I'd say it'd be a really good margarita with tahini all day long.
I'm a skinny margarita girl. Like, there's nothing like it. It's my favorite. Tequila.
All seasons, refreshing.
It is the best. Yeah. Who is your celebrity doppelganger?
Okay, this one is so silly, but I have been told this. It was when I was younger. I even hate saying this because I feel like it's so off. But I used to have blonde hair.
Yep.
And the way I used to do my makeup back in the day, Mariah Carey.
Oh, I see it. I told 100%. Even with your hair like that, because she has dark hair sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it's your facial features, like your cheekbones and stuff.
Yeah.
I totally see
I
it.
can't sing, but
Oh God,
I'll go with that one.
I always said if I could sing, you wouldn't get me off a stage. I would love it.
I dream to sing.
Me too. God, if I could take lessons for that and actually have it make a difference. First concert you went to?
Oh, this one's Marilyn Manson.
Oh my God. So that was like 1996?
Yeah, it was really bad. That was back in the day when it was really crazy. I got into alternative. I thought I'd be a rebel against my parents and trying to be satanic
and black and all that.
I wore onks and fishnets, and I was trying to go against my parents back in the day.
Aren't we all? What's the moment you thought, welp, never living that down?
This one is too good. So me and my friends went to Vegas.
Yeah.
And we rented a Turo. Have you heard of
Oh,
Turo?
yeah.
Okay, we rented a Turo.
Yep.
Well, if you know me, I scan stuff. Emails, I'm kind of...
Oh, so you're just not reading the whole thing.
I
Okay.
scan. So
Okay.
it told me where the car would be. So we're all walking up to this car. And I'm like, this is really weird. I have never... We just got a regular car. It kind of matched the description. I'm looking at it, we can't find the keys right anywhere, but the door was open.
Oh,
The alarm starts going off, and we're looking, and I'm like, why would the Toro leave the car dirty? There's a McDonald's, like the French fry things, trash, Coca-Cola things from McDonald's, newspapers. And I'm like, this Toro is getting a negative review. What in the world's happened? And then one of my friends goes, she looks and she goes, could that one possibly be our Turo over there? And we look and we're like, oh my God, we are in someone's dirty car rummaging, looking for keys. We were not in the right car. Our Turo was down. We could see it down the road.
Oh, at least the person wasn't in it. I've gotten in the wrong car with the person in the passenger seat, and I was like, my bad.
That's good.
Yeah. Ugh. And I have to ask you, because of your job, what is your favorite restaurant in the Valley right now?
Oh, right now, Sexy Roman.
Ooh, I haven't been there yet.
You can find me at Sexy Roman once a week. It is. I'm going again this Friday. It's so good.
So tell me why.
Okay. Number one, service. I'm actually quite impressed by them. I stopped going to the W. It's kind of, to me, just younger people and, part of the Vortex and Old Town Scottsdale, like the party scene. And the sushi restaurant had its time there. And when they brought Sexy Roman, I was like, great. It's going to be another one, just young kids coming in, not great food. Beautiful inside. Service is impeccable. I've tried multiple different dishes there. The spicy vodka, the chicken parmigiana, their ribeye, everything I've gotten there, outstanding.
Good to know. I'm making a reservation.
Yeah,
for
let's do it.
For sure. Thank you so much for being a part of this. This was such a pleasure.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Of course.